like, come on, let's get started, let's get home.
Ready?
Go ahead.
At this time, I'd like to call the BOCC meeting to order, August 19th, 2026. If you would, please stand for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Please join us in recognizing and honoring the men and women who have sacrificed so much for our nation. It is through their service that our freedoms, our liberties, and our democratic process are protected and preserved. Let us take a moment of silence to remember them. Thank you. Now join us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
Thank you. Just for notification, we have two commissioners out on a fire board meeting this evening. I am vice chair, so I am chairing the meeting until they get back, if they get back in time. The first thing on the agenda is a recess for the special districts. I am vice chair on the erosion district, so I will start with that one. So at this time, I'd like to call the erosion district meeting to order. And the first thing on the agenda is public comment. Anyone wishing to speak on the erosion control district, please come up to the podium. Seeing no movement, next.
Public comment?
Public comment for the erosion control districts. Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of minutes. Do we have anything we need to talk about, or?
Move approval.
Got a
Second.
motion? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Anything?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Nothing is on the regular agenda, so motion to adjourn. And next is,
I'll take care of
Commissioner Lowry.
the next ones. Yep, so we come together as the mosquito control district. First item of business is public comment. Is there anyone that would like to address the board for the mosquito control district public comment? Please come forward at this time. Okay, seeing no movement, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes.
Move
Motion.
approval.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve consent.
Move approval consent.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Nothing on regular agenda, so motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mosquito Control District. Next, we have the Sustainability District agenda. Come together sustainability. Is there anyone that would like to address the board during public comment for Sustainability District? Please come forward at this time. Seeing how there's no comment, we'll take approval of the minutes from May 19th.
Move approval on May 19th meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We have a motion for consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Nothing on regular agenda here, so motion to adjourn, Sustainability District. And last one, environmental. We come together as Environmental Control Board. Anyone wishing to address the board during public comment for Environmental Control Board, please come forward at this time. Seeing no movement there, we'll take approval of the minutes for May 19th.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nothing on consent or regular agenda, so we are adjourned.
So moved. Going back to the regular Board of County Commission meeting, next thing on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. There are no presentations. Next up is public comment. Anyone looking to publicly speak, please come up to the podium, state your name and your address for the record.
Hi, my name is The Armed Fisherman on YouTube. Kathy Townsend, I'm going to tell you this one time and one time only. When you refer to the Lakewood Park residents, not people, you refer to the Lakewood Park as people. Those are your constituents. Those are the people that vote you in. Those are the people that you need. She's so disrespectful, just looking down,
I'm-
writing down. I know you're hearing me. You know, I was at Lakewood Park after the tornadoes that went and ravaged that whole place. You want to know what I saw? And you'll see it on YouTube on the Armed Fisherman. I went to Spanish Lakes. That's where I first went. They had all the people. They had police presence. They had everybody doing all the cleanup job there. But I went to Lakewood Park, and guess what? I actually offered to get a rake and help them because what they went through, and you're calling those people. Where were you at when that all went down? Were you out there helping that community rake up stuff? Absolutely not. And then you complain about driving from one side of it to Becker Road. Well, you know, just to let everybody know, yeah, there might be, well, you have to understand, Lakewood Park isn't the most ritziest place in the world. You go down Becker Road, yeah, there might be some not so great places, and I'm not crapping on it, but they've got $500,000, $1 million homes, all types of golf courses, and you're complaining about driving in a company vehicle with company gas. She's just so disrespectful. They're all looking at me, and your head's balls deep into something. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, stop trying to educate us. We the people, we're your bosses. We're going to educate you today. And I hope everybody in here is listening. Do not vote this woman back into office because she looks less of all of us. The way she spoke, and if you look up the Armed Fisherman, trust me, I've got the whole meeting of you sitting there rambling on and going off and having a bickering fight with James Clousby, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Yeah, I've got that. That's already on my YouTube channel, and I've been waiting for this day. Just to point the finger back at you. And guess what? I'm going to educate you on another thing. You know, your Form 1s, Form 6s, records requests. The world, everybody here in St. Lucie County is going to know a lot about you.
Anyone else on public comment?
I'm a little nervous, so please bear with me.
Not a problem, ma'am. Just state your name and address for the
My
record,
name is
please.
Sheila Markell, and I live at 153 Rio Mar Drive. I've been there 33 years. I received a letter about the street lighting district. And in this letter, it said if you had a written objection, to write a letter to the county engineer, but with no address. So I didn't know where to send a letter. That's why I'm here. I've walked my dogs in my neighborhood for over 33 years, day and night. And I have contacted Florida Power and Light over a dozen times regarding street light outages. Some lights were dysfunctioning for years. Some were dysfunctioning at school bus stops. Some flashing for months. Some hidden in the tree limbs that didn't allow lighting the roadway. And some just needed new sensors or changes to the light itself. It's been neglected for years in my neighborhood. I'm not happy about having another charge for street lighting maintenance when I seem to be doing the maintenance, calling for problems in my neighborhood. The River Park area covering Rio Mar Drive, Altura, Oak, Cypress, Beach, Arbor streets. Like I said, I've been calling FP&L several times over the years, and I don't see the need for an increase in this service when there is no service, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Maite, is there anyone we could direct her to, since the address wasn't there? I know this is FP&L.
Yes, sir. Barb Getler is in the audience, and she will be doing the public hearings this evening, and she can speak to her after this meeting.
Very good. Anyone else on public comment? Seeing no movements, next is proclamations. We have no proclamations this evening. So next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for July 21st and July 9th.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the consent agenda. Anyone like to pull anything on the consent agenda? If not, motion to approve.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Now we are on to public meetings. The first on the Public Works Culvert Municipal Services staff presentation.
Vice Chair, Lee, Commissioners, for the record, Barbara Getler, MSBU Coordinator. The board created the Culvert Assistance Program to give property owners the option to fund the replacements of failed culverts through non-ad valorem assessments. Today's resolution is the annual assessment resolution as required by county ordinance. The purpose of this resolution relates to the imposition and collection of special assessments to fund stormwater culvert improvements within the MSBU, determine that real property therein will be specially benefited, establish the method of assessing the cost of the improvement, and approve the assessment roll. Staff recommends board approval of resolution number 2026-144 and authorization for the chair to sign documents as approved by the county attorney.
Awesome. This is time for public comment regarding the municipal service benefit for the culvert assessment. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. Seeing no movement, going on to discussions on the board. Any discussions?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All motion carries. Next on is the property cleanup.
Section 38-28, lot cleanup of the county's code of ordinance prohibits the accumulation of trash, junk, debris, living and non-living plant material, stagnant water, excessive growth of grass, weeds, and brush, windows, skies, and doors that are not watertight, and to keep a fill on property. If a property is found to be in violation of this article, the owner is noticed of the violation and that they must remedy the violation within 20 days or file an appeal within 15 days. If the owner fails to remedy or successfully appeal the violation, the county may undertake such actions as necessary or useful to remedy the violation. The cost incurred by the county to remedy the violation shall be assessed against the property. If the property assessment is not paid in full within 20 business days, the assessment may be levied as non-ad valorem assessment on the annual property tax bill and collected pursuant to section 197.36 of Florida statute. There are 5 parcels on the 2026 property cleanup assessment roll, with the assessment amounts ranging from $5,316.15 to $47,712.77. The actions taken by the county to remedy the violations include but are not limited to the utilizing continuing service contractors for mowing, trimming bushes, shrubs, trees, and securing windows, skylights, doors, and pools, and complete demolition. Notice of this public hearing was mailed to affected property owners and published in the newspaper on or before July 28, 2026. Staff recommends board approval of the Property Cleanup Special Assessment District Annual Assessment Resolution and authorization for the chair to sign documents as approved by the county attorney.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak on the property cleanup, please come forward at this time. Seeing no movement, bring it back to the board for discussion or motion.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the Meadowwood Street Lighting District.
The assessment amount for each parcel within a street lighting district is calculated by dividing the total estimated cost to provide the street lighting service to the district by the number of parcels contained in each district. Per county ordinance, section 40, in the event the proposed assessment for any parcel of property exceeds the maximum amount as previously noted, the board shall provide notice and conduct a public hearing prior to the adoption of the annual assessment resolution. Due to increases in the cost to provide street lighting services, the Meadowood Street Lighting District requires a public hearing to be held to adopt the 2026 assessment roll. The maximum assessment amount as established in Resolution 15-92 was $77.48 per dwelling unit per year. The proposed annual assessment amount to be levied on the November 2026 tax roll is $99.26. Staff recommends board approval of the Meadowood Street Lighting District Annual Assessment Resolution and authorization for the chair to sign documents as approved by the county attorney.
At this time, anyone wishing to speak from the public on the Meadowood Street Lighting District, please come forward. Seeing no movement, bring back to the board for discussion or approval.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the River Park Street Lighting District.
The River Park 1 Street Lighting District, the assessment amount for each parcel within a street lighting district is calculated by dividing the total estimated cost to provide street lighting services to the district by the number of parcels contained in each district. Per county ordinance, section 40, in the event the proposed assessment for any parcel of property exceeds the maximum amount as previously noticed, the board shall provide notice and conduct a public hearing prior to the adoption of the annual assessment resolution. Due to increases in cost of providing the street lighting services, the River Park 1 Street Lighting District requires a public hearing to be held prior to adoption of the 2026 assessment roll. The maximum annual assessment amount as established in Resolution 24-142 was $34.86 per dwelling unit. The proposed annual assessment amount to be levied on the November 2026 tax roll is $42.91. Staff recommends board approval of the River Park 1 Street Lighting District Annual Assessment Resolution and authorization for the chair to sign documents as approved by the county attorney.
At this time, anyone wishing to speak on the River Park Street Lighting District, please come to the podium. Seeing no movement, bring it back to the board for discussion or approval.
I'll yield to Commissioner Lowry since it's her district if she'd like to make the motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just wanted to, let the public that may be listening know, what these streetlight districts are. And maybe staff, Maite, could just give us a little history, because when we've had somebody kind of complain, I think it was an $8 increase. She might be here this evening. I just got here a little late from the fire board meeting, which went on a little long.
Welcome back.
This afternoon. But I made sure to get here. Could you just give us a history of what these districts are, how they come into existence, that sort of thing?
Barb is going to be the expert, and
Oh,
she's going to
there we
explain
go.
it.
Sorry.
But there is,
Barb.
they do establish them. The people have to vote to be part of it, and it's the pass-through cost of the FP&L lighting cost that goes to those residents. But Barb can give you a better answer, and the individual
Sorry.
is here to.
Didn't mean to overlook you there. Could you just give us just a real quick?
Yeah, no problem. Street lighting districts are started by petition. Property owners petition in different areas, neighborhoods, for street lighting districts, and that's how they come about. These street lighting districts, the two river parks are from the 60s. We haven't had any new street lighting districts since I've been here, so over 20 years. But most of the neighborhoods are established now with street lighting. So it's just really a pass-through from FP&L to, from the property owners to FP&L. It can be, the county can be cut out, and it could be the HOA or individuals that pay for them, but these were set up this way at this time.
And the lights themselves, like for this neighborhood specifically, they're in HOA area, right away, do we know?
They're all in the right of way. They're just for the street lighting, so they're not the private lights on private property or anything like that.
Okay. Is there any kind of mechanism for that neighborhood to, do away with this program, or?
Yes, if they would like to do that, the HOA or the property owners would have to petition the county to remove the county from it, and then they would have to decide how they wanted to pay for them at that point.
But as far as at this point, like let's say we didn't approve this rate increase, and it's a rate that's been asked for by the homeowners, then the county would have to foot the bill for the difference. It's not like FPL is just going to turn the lights off, or?
Right, and special assessment districts are set up that the properties that derive a direct benefit from them are the ones paying the cost. So if the county were to step up and do that, it wouldn't be a true special assessment district.
Right. Does this happen to be the district that the lady was?
She's in one of the river parks. I'm not sure if she's in River Park 1 or 2.
Okay. I mean, if the neighborhood wanted to come together and say they didn't want it anymore, what would the repercussions of that be? Do you still pay like a long-term 20-year agreement with FPL for the lights themselves, or how does that work?
They would have to, either the HOA or private individuals would have to have a contract with FP&L to keep the lights on. And they do have an agreement that if they took lights out, that the property owners would have to pay for that as well.
So there would be a charge for that too?
Yes.
I mean, I definitely, just kind of my position on this sort of things, we usually kind of go through it, but I'm definitely not in favor of the county subsidizing a lighting district that was asked for by the residents. If the residents did want to remove it, they'd have to come together as a group and go through that process, I would think.
Yes, that's correct.
Good. If you could, once we're through, we'll get you with Barbara, and then you guys could have a discussion on your concerns and needs. Is that okay? Okay. So I
Okay.
can't remember where we at. We got our approval?
Yep, I made a motion to approve.
And I seconded.
Second.
Park, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next one is the River Park 2 Street Lighting District.
The assessment amount for each parcel within a street lighting district is calculated by dividing the total cost of providing the street lighting services to the district by the number of parcels contained in the district. Per county ordinance, section 40, in the event the proposed assessment amount for any parcel of property exceeds the maximum amount as previously noticed, the board shall provide notice and conduct a public hearing prior to the adoption of the annual assessment resolution. Due to increases in the cost to provide street lighting services, the River Park 2 Street Lighting District requires public hearing to be held prior to the adoption of the 2026 roll. The maximum assessment amount as established in Resolution 23-142 was $54.76 per dwelling unit. The proposed annual assessment amount to be levied on the November 2026 tax roll is $64.39. Staff recommends board approval of the River Park 2 Street Lighting District Annual Assessment Resolution and authorization for the chair to sign documents as approved by the county attorney.
At this time, we'll open up to the public for any comment on the River Park 2 Street Lighting District. Seeing no movement, come back to the board for discussion or approval.
Motion to approve River Park 2 Street Lighting District.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this point, I am going to turn the chair back over to the chair.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry that the previous meeting that Commissioner Clasby and I were at ran incredibly late. Believe it or not, it started at 3 o'clock. So thank you for everyone's consideration. Good evening, Corey. With that, we have Alco Groves Mine. Even though this is being asked for continuance, it's quasi-judicial. Commissioner Clasby, could I have you start with your disclosures?
Yes, I've spoke with staff, the applicant, and several members from the public regarding this.
Commissioner Lally.
Leslie Olson with District Planning, Richard Carnell applicant, staff Ben and Corey, and Patrick Public Works.
I have met with our planning team, Leslie Olson, Richard Carnell, Ralph Brown, Paul Sodi, Greg Nelson, and Sean McKenzie.
And I have spoke with Leslie Olson, Richard Carnell, Lily Crawford, Mike Weiss, and staff.
Commissioner Townsend?
Leslie Olson, Stan Beard, the applicant, Patrick from engineering, and some residents.
All right, thanks. Yes. And so it was printed on the agenda to continue to September 1st, but since we reposted, the applicant has requested the item be tabled to a date uncertain. This is a public hearing item. With that in mind, anyone wishing to address the board on this item? Seeing no movement, close public comment, come back to the board.
Motion to continue this to a date uncertain.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public Works, still part of Alco Groves, Class 2 mining permit, also quasi-judicial. Commissioner Clasby?
Yes, my disclosures are the same as the previous.
Thank you.
My disclosures are the same as previous as well.
Mine are the same as the conditional use permit as well.
Mine are the same as stated.
Mine are the same as stated.
All right, this is also a public hearing item. Anyone wishing to address the board that might not be. Seeing no movement, I'll close public comment, come back to the board for a motion.
Move for approval to pull this and move it to a date uncertain.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Thank you. Into the regular agenda item, and this also quasi-judicial Alco Groves postponement. Commissioner Clasby, one more time.
My disclosures are the same as the previous two items on the same topic.
Commissioner Larry.
My disclosures are the same as well.
Mine are the same,
Mine are the same as stated before.
Mine are the same.
and this is not a public hearing item, so is there a motion?
Motion to move to a date uncertain.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we go into the half-cent sales tax for Project Orchid. Or wait, sorry, approving certain incentives on behalf of Project Orchid. I just completely made up words.
And Chair, I believe Ben is going to present the next three items in one PowerPoint.
Excellent. Good evening, Ben.
Good evening, Chair Fowler and Commissioners. Ben Balser, Planning and Development Services Director for the record. And yes, Maite is correct. I will be presenting in one presentation for the next three agenda items. The first is the revised economic incentive resolution. The second is the proposed job growth investment grant agreement. And the third is the impact fee mitigation agreement. I'll briefly cover the project, then walk through each action and how they work together as part of the county's overall incentive package. As the board may recall, Project Orchid is an international manufacturer with its headquarters in Miami. The company manufactures architectural glass, windows, and aluminum systems for residential and commercial markets. The project is significant because of both its projected capital investment and overall job creation. The project is located near I-95 and Orange Avenue and is planned for approximately 1.4 million square feet of manufacturing space. The company anticipates $310 million in total capital investment, including about $170 million in the new building and $140 million in equipment. The company has also committed to creating 1,005 new jobs over an 8-year period at an average wage of $28.48 per hour, and that is 116% of the St. Lucie County average wage. The broader economic impact is also significant. Construction is estimated to generate approximately $207 million in one-time economic output and support about 852 direct, indirect, and induced jobs. Once operational, the 1,005 direct jobs are estimated to generate approximately $53.8 million in annual payroll. Including indirect and induced impacts, the analysis estimates approximately 1,953 total jobs and $558.8 million in reoccurring economic output. The first action before you tonight is the revision to the incentive resolution for the project. The primary change is the extension of the job creation period. It was originally approved at 5 years, and it is now recommended to go to 8 years. The total commitment remains at 1,005 jobs. The only thing that's changing is the timing of those jobs. The original the revised resolution extends that ramp-up schedule, as I said, for an 8-year period. As shown on the slide, the schedule begins with 80 jobs in year 1, another 80 jobs in year 2, 120 jobs in year 3 and 4, 150 in years 5, 6, and 7, and then 155 jobs in the final year, year 8. The resolution also carries forward the board's prior authorization related to the job growth investment grant, the impact fee mitigation agreement, and the contemplated ad valorem tax exemption, which is 100% of an exemption for the first 5 years, and then it's on a declining scale to 90% in year 6, 85% in year 7, 80% in year 8, 75% in year 9, and 70% in year 10. The second item for your contemplation tonight is the Job Growth Investment Grant Agreement. Project Orchid received a score of 115 points under the county's revised economic incentive scoring matrix, placing it within the exceptional impact category. The maximum per job value is $2,000, resulting in a maximum eligible job growth investment grant award of $2,010,000. As you know, this is a performance-based incentive. Payments aren't made until the county verifies that qualifying jobs were created, wages have been met, as well as other commitments. The per job value also includes enhancements that are tied to local hiring and the use of local contractors, which must also be documented and verified by the county. The third item is the impact fee mitigation agreement. The project is eligible for mitigation up to 100% of the eligible county road impact fee amount. Based on the current information, those fees are estimated at approximately $1.8 million. That amount is, again, only an estimate. The actual impact fee and mitigation amount will be calculated when the building permit is issued using the impact fee rates that are in effect at that time. Since the project is also eligible for multimodal impact fee credits associated with off-site improvements, those credits will be taken into account in determining the county's final mitigation amount. The agreement allows the county to reduce or reconcile the mitigation as necessary so that the same impact fee obligation is not funded twice. Unlike the Job Growth Investment Grant, impact fee mitigation may be provided before the company completes its full performance commitment, and for that reason, the county includes annual compliance reviews and repayment provisions that are tied to performance and continued operations within the county. The three actions before you establish the revised 8-year job creation schedule and the agreements governing the Job Growth Investment Grant and impact fee mitigation incentives. The company remains committed to creating 1,005 new jobs and approximately $310 million in capital investment, with county incentives tied to verified performance. With that, staff recommends approval of Resolution 2026-154, as well as the draft Job Growth Investment Grant Agreement and the draft Impact Fee Mitigation Agreement for Project Orchid. And I'm available for any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you, Ben. Come back to the board.
Madam Chair?
Questions, comments, Commissioner Lee?
Just a comment. I've been asked several times on how we, or not asked, but told how we give money away for all these industries coming in, and I just wanted to let the public know that, one, we don't let them just come in and take our money. They do have to qualify, and it's an incentive to try to be competitive with the other communities in the area. And since that time, we have upped the incentive, or down the incentive, I should say, or made it more restrictive and better for the constituents. And the other question I get asked is, well, how do you monitor it? Well, we monitor it regularly, and this year I think we've had to stop 3 different companies from getting the mitigation. So it is monitored by us. We are upping the ante for them to come in, and I just want to let the public know that we are looking at this, and it's not a free ride coming in, but it's incentive for job growth and investment into the community.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Clasby.
So I've had a conversation. I just wanted to share with the board. I think that I'm comfortable with the answer they gave me, but just to bring it to the board's attention, I'd asked staff, because I looked through everything through the lens of Amendment 3 at this point, and catastrophic reduction in revenue. What happens if we agree to a 10-year deal with a manufacturer, and let's just say, just for throwing numbers out there, it costs a couple $100,000 a year to pay for the incentive. I mean, do we front load that money? Is it sitting in an account, or do we pay and budget it year after year? And they can correct me at any time if I'm wrong, but I was told that we budget it each year. So it's not like we just have all of the money for all 10 years in one pot, and it draws from that. Each year we have to collect the taxes and then budget the money. So part of my issue with that becomes, if we don't have the money to budget for it, and they've built the building, and they're operating, and suddenly we stop giving them an incentive, what's the legal ramifications for that? Can they sue us? Do we have to pay them? And, maybe staff can go ahead and just answer that for the board.
If I may add, when you adopted the new incentive criteria for the economic incentives, you included a clawback and recapture process, and it specifically states the board retains the full discretion to approve, deny, or modify or revoke the agreement. So you have the opportunity to make those decisions.
So, we approved this on a year-by-year basis, even though we're committing to 10 years.
That is correct. We wouldn't have the money all up front, so we'd have to budget it year by year.
Okay. That seemed fine to me.
Thank you. So even though it was a presentation, it did cover items 2, 3, and 4. We will have to do obvious separate motions. So starting with number 2, approving certain incentives on behalf of Project Orchid. If there's no other comments or discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Project Orchid Job Growth Investment Grant, or JJIG agreement.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last but not least, the Impact Fee Mitigation Agreement.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
All right,
you,
with
Commissioner.
that, you've got your update for us.
Yes, ma'am. Good, okay, all right. Again, good evening, Chair Fowling, Commissioners. Ben Balser, Planning and Development Services Director. For the record, this item is the monthly update on the development projects that were approved administratively during the month of July, and we have a total of 5 projects to go over. The first is a major adjustment to the minor site plan for FPL's Indrio Solar Generation Station. The adjustment added a battery energy storage system to the solar generation facility. This facility has not yet been constructed. The site is located approximately 4 miles west of I-95 north of Indrio Road, with access provided by a private road that continues north from the solar site to Oslo Road in Indian River County. The second project is a minor adjustment to the major site plan for Sable Palm Grove PUD. It's located on the east side of Emerson Avenue, north of the Lakewood Park Regional Park. The board approved the preliminary PUD rezoning and the preliminary site plan in April 2024. That was followed by the final site plan for 61 single-family homes in October of 2024, and this most recent adjustment revised the sidewalk and driveway locations. That was to preserve additional trees, and it converts a portion of the proposed stormwater lake to a dry retention stormwater feature. The third project is the minor site plan for Butler Industrial Park, which is located on the north side of St. Lucie Boulevard. It's between 25th Street and the Treasure Coast International Airport. The property has an industrial future land use designation and an industrial light zoning designation. The site plan includes 2 access driveways on the south side from St. Lucie Boulevard and an internal drive aisle that loops around 2 proposed 37,000 square foot buildings. Each of the 2 buildings is designed to contain 4 light industrial bays, and each bay has their own office space. The next project is a minor adjustment to the final site plan. It is for Pod 6 within Oak Ridge Ranches. It's known as Reverie at Solaris. This pod is 326 acres. It includes both single-family detached homes as well as attached villas. The adjustment approved a final design for the amenity center, a model sales center, and it finalized the project's phasing plan. And the fifth and final project is a minor adjustment to the final PUD site plan. This is for the Harbor Ridge Clubhouse. The adjustment approved an approximately 13,000 square foot addition to the existing clubhouse. It includes a new outdoor terrace and pergola space, and they are adding an additional 29 parking spaces to accommodate the new square footage. And that concludes the administrative approvals for the month of July.
All right, thanks, Ben. Any questions? All right, thank you. And with that, it brings us to commissioner comments.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Townsend.
I would like to ask that on one of the moving forward, I know probably September is already decided, but maybe October, there'd be a conversation. Currently, Cultural Alliance was funded through tourism. And through the tourism board meeting, it was discussed that Port St. Lucie has art in public places, and the county has a program, but it's not really been used and utilized. There's also some language going around legislatively. So I would like to have a conversation in moving forward that we can tweak that a little bit and maybe have the developers pay a contribution into the Cultural Alliance. And that way it's a way for them to someday be on their own, have their building, brick and mortar, bring arts and stuff in for tourism and everything. So it's a large conversation, but I'd like to have it with the board. And it would also give time, if we took it out 2 months or so, to let the language see where it's going to end in Tallahassee, and let Maite and Charlotte do a little bit of digging. And I have the ordinance. I had it sent over from the city of Port St. Lucie on what they do with our own public places. So it's a way for us to get them out of us and to be independent, but to be funded through development.
Gotcha. Okay, so if we can make sure that that's scheduled for an informal in the next 2 months or so.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Charlotte's
you.
not here, but I will double check her schedule and we'll get working on that.
Sounds good. Commissioner Lee, anything?
No comment.
Commissioner Lowry? Commissioner Clasby?
Yeah, so just want to share with the board that last week I was able to go out with Josh Revord and the Fort Pierce Marine Code Enforcement. I believe in 2024, City of Fort Pierce used Marina Enterprise funds to purchase a used center console boat for the purpose of marine code enforcement. That kind of worked nicely with timing. They already purchased not a law enforcement vessel, but a code enforcement vessel with our anchoring limitation area. The county signed into an interlocal agreement where they would go out and enforce our ALA. So I went out with that crew, and I wanted to see how is it administered and how is it being enforced. And within the current 2 ALA zones that we have, it does look like it's working. Sailboats are no longer there. However, some of the problem sailboats have been towed to the area that some people call, Skiers Bay or Wildcat Cove, just to the north of Little Jim Bridge. And it's truly a boat junkyard. I mean, just over the weekend, several sailboats have sunk. There's multiple sailboats that are definitely not under their own power. They do not have masts for sails. I don't know the exact law on it, but I would think that a paddle is not sufficient for being under self-power when you're a vessel of that size. There are huge liabilities in the event of a storm, currently in hurricane season. And there are people living on these boats. And everybody's fear of that area and anybody that drives by them, we all know what they're doing with their waste. And it can't be allowed to continue to happen. And I would ask this board to maybe add to an informal meeting a discussion of what can be done. I've been kind of getting questions answered on my own, but I want to see if the board has any, inclination to want to do additional things in regards to this. It's a real problem on the water right now. A lot of the boating community, this is the number one complaint of everybody. Beyond boat ramps, once you're on the water, it's sailboats polluting our river and affecting our water quality. It's a big thing. And, the Marine Code Enforcement for Fort Pierce doesn't, and this is, questions to be answered later, but just kind of what I'm seeing. This Wildcat Cove area north of Little Jim is outside the municipal boundaries of Fort Pierce, so they may not be able to use their vessel to police that. That could be additional budget from the county to police it. I'm told that there's a new Coast Guard command that's more in favor of helping us police this. All of these are just kind of questions. Maybe we could bring it to the informal just to get a whole board update, because I've really gone deep on it, and I just want to make sure that the whole board's up to speed on this issue, because it's truly become an issue, and I really want to try to get this solved, because it's going to become a game of whack-a-mole. So right now they've moved to the Skiers Bay area by Little Jim, but next they'll move to St. Lucie Village, or perhaps Faber Cove, or by Causeway Cove, or J.C. Park. We need to figure out what options are available for us, because this just is something that can't be let to happen. And a lot of the online commenters believe that a mooring field could be the solution, but I mean to tell you, the people that are the biggest offenders on this, they're not paying for a mooring ball. I mean, they're not going to. That's probably why they're living on a sailboat. Nothing wrong with that lifestyle, but we have to make sure that our water is, not getting dumped on, literally, and that these vessels that are out there are not liabilities should they become detached.
All right, thank you. And with that, that brings us to upcoming meetings.
And that will be Tom.
All right.
Thank you. The Board of County Commissioners will hold a regular meeting on Tuesday, September 1st, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in these County Commission chambers. In addition, the Board of County Commissioners will hold a tentative budget hearing on Thursday, September 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m., also in these County Commission chambers. The Board of County Commissioners will hold an informal meeting on Tuesday, September 8th, 2026 at 9 a.m. here in these Commission chambers. And then finally, the Board of County Commissioners will hold a final budget hearing on Thursday, September 17th, 2026 at 6 p.m., also in this room here in the County Commission chambers. And that's it.
All right. And announcements.
Thank you. And an update to those meetings per the board's directions. The informal meeting on September 8th will be televised. We'll be streaming that live starting the next informal meeting. But for the regular announcements, St. Lucie County and the Smithsonian Marine Ecosystem will celebrate their 25-year partnership with free admission into the St. Lucie County Aquarium located at 420 Seaway Drive on South Hutchinson Island on Friday, August 28th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. In addition, the aquarium will be open early and provide light refreshments to visitors from 9 to 10 a.m. And throughout the day, visitors will be able to join one of the many ever-popular fish feeding tours at 10:30 and 2 p.m. or behind-the-scenes look at how the aquarium's ecosystems are cared for at 11:30 and 1:30. Also, there will be free admission at the aquarium this Saturday, August 22nd, and our Parks and Rec staff will be there with their rec and roll, so folks can come in. If they can't make it on that Friday the 28th, they can come in this Saturday for free admission. For more information about the St. Lucie County Aquarium or to learn about volunteer opportunities, they can call the staff there at 772-465-3271, and they can keep up to date with programs and all happenings at the Smithsonian Marine Ecosystem exhibit by following their social media at Smithsonian SMS, or they can visit our website at stlucieco.gov/aquarium.
All right, thank you. And with that, we are adjourned. Have a good evening.